everyone, welcome back to the 5th episode of DC Dialogues by your very own DC psychologists Chetna and Tara, where we have the most raw and unfiltered conversations around mental health, therapy and pop culture in India.
बोलना तू बोलेगी ना go ahead fulfill your dream.
अच्छा.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Hype me up. And I think let's go and get into the podcast. Yay! It feels nice to say this.
First of all, we want to wish you a happy Women's Day, and to all those who are celebrating, I hope this Women's Day you cherish and you do all the things that you love. And before we get into this episode, I want to ask you, Tara, that what is the episode about?
Okay, so the last episode we were talking about dating and relationship and what are the trends in the relationship field these days, and that was a very fun episode, I would say, and we got a good response on that.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I think a lot of people also related to it because they have been facing the same situation. I think everybody has doubts about what is situationship, what are these terms. But I think we will be having more concrete and more structured conversations this time, because we'll be talking about women and media today and how women are portrayed in media and what are the impact that has on the society and what impact it has on women also.
Absolutely.
So that is what we will be covering today.
I have been seeing in the past 4-5 years, like the last 4-5 साल में कितनी सारी movies भी आई हैं where so many lead actresses played the role of a protagonist, where Alia Bhatt played Gangubai, she also played Razi, where it was such a strong character. Piku and Thappad by Taapsee Pannu, Queen by Kangana Ranaut. So these are female characters who have sort of created movies that actually created an impact in the movie industry as well. So I want to ask you, what do you think, what sort of impact it creates in a society?
Okay, so I would say, जैसे you would get this very easily, but for people who are not from the psych background, so एक concept होता है called observation learning, okay, given by Bandura. So basically there was this experiment जिसमें बच्चे को अगर there was a doll जिसको दिखाया गया था अगर मार रहे हैं तो बच्चा भी बाहर आके डॉल को मार रहा था, एंड अदर वे राउंड अगर वो नहीं मार रहे हैं तो बच्चा भी डॉल को प्यार कर रहा था. ओके,
द बोबो डॉल एक्सपेरिमेंट.
या दैट इज व्हाट वी कॉल बोबो डॉल एक्सपेरिमेंट. सो दैट इज व्हाट हैपेंस, ऑब्जर्वेशन लर्निंग. तो जो तुम देखते हो तुम वो करते हो, that translates into your behavior per se. So I would say when we are watching a movie and we see someone doing something courageous, okay, so that also inspires you. जो ये कहा जाता है ना कि okay, it's just a movie, let it be, why are you taking it so seriously, it's just a movie. It's not just a movie, it translates into the society, it gets back into the behavior of the people, and it's just how things then get settled, okay.
And but I also want to add here about not just the movie as media, but also how Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr,
the extension of media,
especially social media. So Instagram पे भी everyone and anyone is creating content. So what do you have to say about that?
I think I genuinely enjoy watching content also, like we are content creators, but I like watching other people's content. I enjoy that very much. But I would also say कि कभी-कभी बहुत negative भी हो जाता है. You remember, Chetna, there was this reel that we made back in 2021.
Yeah.
The DU reel that got viral. So it was just a reel that saying that I got 95% marks, but I couldn't get into DU.
Yeah, it was a very simple reel where
it was a fun reel.
It was a fun reel,
and that got viral. We got around 2 million views on that.
2 million views, and I think a lot of comments.
That is what I'm talking about. And I was already into one of the best colleges in Delhi University back then.
Yeah.
Like I graduated from one of the best colleges.
But still
I got so much hate on that कि पढ़ ही लेते, रील बनाने से अच्छा है तो पढ़ ही लो घर जाके, नहीं पढ़ोगे सारा टाइम पढ़ने का रील बनाते हुए लगा दिया, तो अब एडमिशन कैसे होगा?
I think from what I have personally observed, कोई कुछ भी कर ले on the whole social media thing. Like we see so many women dancing, creating content, talking about it, there are going to be people who are going to put them to the subject of judgment.
But I think it's सबके साथ भी है. Like I know women gets into the spotlight much more, but
yeah.
I also feel that everyone is like on a lens when social media पे आ जाते हैं. But हो जाता है कभी ज़्यादा toxic, and there are a lot of hate comments that are there. So that is sometimes a little hard to just digest. Ki why would someone do that? Like it's just a reel.
I was also like reading this research paper where they gave a proper definition of hate speech. I'll read that out for you. So hate speech basically is a combination of brutal and prolific harassment, threat and abuse, which can also like include threats like physical and sexual violence, and also publications of photographs without consent. So how do you think like this all hate speech, you know, affects a women when they are on the other side of social media, apart from the factors where, you know, I have noticed that them thinking a lot before posting a picture, and also, you know, censoring themselves, deleting their post immediately, because I have also done it. Like I uploaded a picture and I'm like, no, this is something else, or this is not what it should look like, and I deleted it myself. So how do you think it sort of impacts a women's mentality, considering you are a woman?
Okay, so like adding on to what you were saying, not just post, people delete their accounts also.
Yeah, they deactivate their accounts.
कि account ही पूरा हटाना पड़ रहा है because they have gotten so much hate on this and they don't feel that it is a safe space anymore, so they just feel कि मैं ना इस platform पे रहूँ तो ही बेटर है.
मतलब मैं जानती हूँ, लाइक मेरे ऐसे दोस्त रहे हैं जिन्होंने महीनों महीनों तक अपना एक्टिवेट नहीं किया है अकाउंट, जस्ट बिकॉज दे वर लाइक कि अगर फिर जाएंगे तो फिर someone is going to comment on them.
So I was also trying to research about it. So there are a lot of like emotions जो आते हैं after things like these happen, like when you have an episode जहाँ पे तुम्हारे साथ hate तुम्हारे पे बहुत ज़्यादा आ जाती है. I remember I called you up when I got these comments. So there's a lot of sadness, there's a lot of fear and terror also. कि you're just too scared to do anything on it. You feel vulnerable. And I think if it gets to that extent कि वो बहुत ज़्यादा हो रहा है, then it can lead to like to the level कि ये disorders में convert हो रहा है. You can have anxiety, you can have depression, and ये तो बहुत common है because when you are on social media, you need to be in a perfect beauty box. ठीक है कि you should meet the criteria A, B, C, then you are considered beautiful. And I think जैसे पतला होना, ठीक है, that is one
idealistic body image, and इस वजह से eating disorders are also,
that is what I was getting into.
Yeah.
कि that is what leads to being like तुम नर्वोसा है, ठीक है, anorexia nervosa, that you're eating so less so that you maintain the perfect body size, and then you just self-inducing the vomitings and not eating. So I think which is very sad. People don't realize पता है कि
there's an actual person behind that screen.
Yeah.
You know, this also made me remind of a reel जिसमें there was this woman, वो अपने आप को compare करी थी, like you know the skin की, what do we call them, the skin, the lines that come on the skin.
I've seen the reel with the landscapes and with the
that
mountains.
it is being compared to
stretch marks.
Stretch marks. So a women's stretch marks are being compared to bark, like tree के bark के वो, the dark circles are compared to clouds, and it was such a beautiful representation where, you know, we are a part of nature, and
all these things are natural. They are natural, and everybody, they have them. Like stretch marks are something very common. Everybody has stretch marks, and it's so
even the bloated stomach. मतलब हमें पता है कि especially after eating food we just unzip our jeans.
The top button goes off.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Absolutely, but you know, this just really makes me sad sometimes कि लोग ना जब comment कर रहे होते हैं, they are doing it just for the fun of it or just for the sake of it. But जब सामने वाला person वो comments read कर रहा होता है ना, it actually impacts their brain, it actually changes their whole thinking process, it creates, मतलब इवन मैं बायोलॉजिकल व्यू भी बताऊं तो न्यूरॉन्स भी जब फायर होते हैं दे चेंज पाथवेज टेक्निकली इन ऑर्डर टू फॉर्म अ न्यू साइकिल और चेन ऑफ थॉट एंड इट्स जस्ट दैट कि सामने वाला कोई रियलाइज नहीं करता एंड देन
I think they just take it as fun, but then you don't know the impact of it now.
एब्सोल्युटली
So I think एक important चीज that we have not talked about yet is obviously when you're talking about media we cannot miss films and songs. So I have just made this observation that yes, okay, representation बढ़ गई है, ठीक है, and we have been seeing a lot of lead female characters with very bold roles and all these things, but I don't think कि misogyny और जो sexism है that has completely vanished अभी भी, which is very sad, but कभी कभी it's so prominent कि कई movies में कई scenes में it is just there इतना ज़्यादा कि you cannot be okay with it.
हाँ, I have seen people leaving the theaters because they cannot tolerate what shit they are actually putting it out there.
So tell me कि ये होता क्यों है? Like why do you think कि अभी तक continue हो रहा है?
I think मेजॉरिटी मतलब वन ऑफ द फैक्टर्स ऑफ कोर्स मैं एम्फोसाइज कर सकती हूँ कंफर्मिटी एंड कंप्लायंस. तो क्या होता है कि हम सबके ना कुछ एग्जिस्टिंग थॉट और बिलीव्स होते हैं. तो अगर मैं हूँ एंड आई एम अ पर्सन वेयर मुझे इन चीज़ों में विश्वास है, लाइक मुझे लगता है कि हाँ एक वुमेन का रोल है कि वो किचन में ही होनी चाहिए फॉर एग्जाम्पल. ये मतलब समझो इस थॉट प्रोसेस से मेरा पूरा चाइल्डहुड एक्सपीरियंसेस आ रहे हैं. तो अगर मैं वो वाली मूवीज देखती हूँ जिसमें ये रोल्स और ये जेंडर स्टीरियोटाइपिंग हो रही है विच मीन्स इट इज इन consonance with my thoughts. So there is also theory by Leon Festinger, we talked about cognitive dissonance theory. तो मतलब अगर हमारे beliefs match कर रहे हैं on what the movie is portraying, तो we are more inclined towards watching their movies. But अगर we are of contradictory views, तो वो cognitive dissonance हो जाती है. तो even a lot of movie producers and directors, they want to make sure कि हाँ जो existing beliefs चल रहे हैं, stereotypes चल रहे हैं, वो उनके कॉन्सोनेंस में. सो आई थिंक इस वजह से कंटिन्यू होता है.
हाँ, बट आई ऑल्सो फील कि continuing is one thing. I think it also leads to a lot of formation of the new attitudes also. Like जैसे मैं पहले बता रही थी कि तुम देखोगे, तुम implement करोगे, तो it's not just the good things that you see. So whatever toxicity and whatever unhealthy behaviors that you are seeing, वो भी translate होते हैं तुम्हारे. You imitate those behaviors, तो तुम्हारे attitudes उसी पे form होने शुरू हो जाते हैं. So if I see that okay, hitting a woman is okay, then I would also feel कि अच्छा फिल्म में दिखाया है, सब कर रहे हैं, मतलब इट्स ऑल्सो कंसिडर्ड ना जो फिल्म में दिखाया दैट्स द जनरल ओपिनियन कि सब लोग वही करते होंगे. सो आई वुड ऑल्सो फील ओके डूइंग दैट. सो देयर इज ऑल्सो लॉट ऑफ आइडियलाइजेशन.
आई कैन थिंक अबाउट सो मेनी मूवीज राइट नाउ व्हिच आर इन माय माइंड.
हाँ, बट या लेट्स जस्ट डिस्कस अबाउट देम क्योंकि है.
हाँ,
सो इफ like a 13-year-old boy, I watch Kabir Singh, ठीक है, and I see the guy hitting the women. And
very casually that too,
and that is portrayed like it's okay, then I would also feel कि हाँ ठीक है, I can also do that.
I have not watched Animal, but I have seen Animal, let's just say, and I have like मतलब I know the sort of scenes. A lot of people have talked about it as well. मतलब कितना ज़्यादा impact आ सकता है on just seeing that movie and then the whole imitation process.
हाँ, but वही बात है ना. Then again कि I was recently talking to one of my friends and he just said कि वो ना फिल्म है, उसको ना फिल्म रहने दो, एंटरटेनमेंट के लिए है, उसको एंटरटेनमेंट के लिए रखो और उसको वहीं रहने दो प्लीज.
तो फिर क्यों इतनी सारी न्यूज रिपोर्ट्स आ रही है डूइंग द सेम एक्शन एज वही कैरेक्टर्स जो कर रहे हैं.
So that is what we are trying to explain over here कि no, it does translate back into the society and it does come back to your like to your behavior. But do you think direction or the people who are creating these films, they also play a role?
I would definitely. I think because they are directing the film, because they are producing that film, major role उनका भी आता है. So there is this Indian researcher, I'm forgetting the name, but we'll put it somewhere. उन्होंने बताया कि जो ये डायरेक्टर्स और प्रोड्यूसर्स होते हैं ना, जब ये एक मूवी बना रहे होते हैं या देख रहे होते हैं कि इस डायरेक्शन में चाहिए, ये अपने थॉट्स और बिलीव्स पोर्ट्रे कर रहे होते हैं. जैसे हमने प्रोजेक्शन पढ़ा है, बट जिन लोगों को जैसे नहीं पता होता कि ये डायरेक्टर्स और जो प्रोड्यूसर्स होते हैं इनके जो थॉट्स बिलीव्स होते हैं या इनकी जो आइडियोलॉजीज होती है. अब जैसे लेट्स जस्ट टॉक अबाउट संदीप रेड्डी, ठीक है, ही मेड कबीर सिंह एंड आई थिंक यू वर ओनली टेलिंग मी कि इन वन ऑफ हिज इंटरव्यूज ही सेड कि उसको इस चीज के लिए हेट तो बहुत मिली, बट
अब लाइक आई एम गोना create something more big than this.
Yeah, and then he created Animal. And मतलब it's very visible कि उनके जो खुद के actions हैं या उनकी खुद की जो ideologies है वो portray करते हैं उन actors पे. And people who sort of relate or resonates with such ideologies, they identify with it. So एक identification हो जाती है. So जो लोग ऐसी मूवीज बनाते हैं और जिन लोगों का वैसा सेम थॉट प्रोसेस है वो लोग ऐसी मूवीज देखते हैं और आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं और एक विशियस साइकिल.
Because similarity is comfort.
Yeah.
It's you will feel validated.
Yeah, people are not ready to get into that uncomfortable zone and change their thought process.
And obviously people like being proven right. कि हाँ मैं तो ठीक ही था. So अगर जिसका ये एटीट्यूड है और वो ये देखेगा, that's reinforcement.
बट इसी की वजह से अब बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसे आ रही हैं जो चेंज भी करी हैं. जैसे इफ आई टॉक अबाउट लाइक मेरी फैमिली में पर्सनली द होल सीरियल ऑफ अनुपमा इज बीइंग वॉच्ड वेरी ऐसे religiously.
I've been listening about this so much. I never knew there was a serial because हमारे घर में no one watches. You were the first person who told me कि
चलो ठीक है, apart from the drama and all the things that are happening, the whole series, like the whole soap opera is made to sort of bring that awareness कि actual में कि how a woman is confined to the boundaries, and if given a chance and if given those opportunities she can actually fly. She can actually do a lot of things for herself, where then she would not need any validation from people around, not just the husbands and the sons, but also from their daughters and also from the neighbors and anyone and everyone for that matter.
I would sorry मैं बिल्कुल off topic चली गई, but अभी मुझे याद आया, if you're discussing about movies, I think it's very essential to also talk about Barbie.
Yeah.
So, and is this how ironic it is?
I know what you're going to say, the award thing, right?
Yeah. It got 8 nominations, okay? And like the male character got the award, but neither Greta nor Margot Robbie were even nominated for it. That
was like the whole point
of the movie. So, yes, that's also one thing. But हाँ ठीक है. So I think also एक और जो बात है ना, that is कि we need to also analyze कि what is happening with the songs these days.
Oh, I swear. There have been so many lyrics. मतलब I think हम तो अपने बचपन से इतने सारे हनी सिंह के, बादशाह के इतने सारे songs सुनकर
कभी कभी ना तुम्हें पता ही नहीं लगता कि because ना you're just vibing it on them so much that you just forget कि lyrics हैं क्या. So a lot of people, अब जो ये फेविकॉल वाला गाना है, मैं तो तंदूरी मुर्गी हूँ यार, गटकाले सैया अल्कोहल से.
So in today's episode, we as women are तंदूरी मुर्गी. So sad.
कि यार मैं तू चीज बड़ी है मस्त में. What do you mean by cheese?
मतलब a thing.
मतलब objectification quite literally. मतलब इससे ज्यादा
तुम क्या ही explicitly
हो जाएगा.
And it's not just about objectifying. It's also about glorifying fair skin color or like a what do you say, the ideal body image they are saying, the hourglass image. जैसे एक वो गाना था लक 28 कुड़ीटा 47 में,
मतलब उसने बिल्कुल
बोला कि यही
is the perfect होना चाहिए.
Yeah, perfect proportions of a woman. और एक वो भी था ना
लक तेरा पतला जया.
हाँ, लक तेरा पतला जया.
And a lot of women, I've seen the reels.
There is this trend.
There was a trend where people were flaunting their waist on this song specifically and creating reels just for this. And again, there's a lot of songs with racism also.
चिट्टियाँ चलाइयाँ और गोरी गोरी गोरी.
हाँ, कितना मतलब वही बात है ना.
वो भी तो था गोरी हो या काली हो. There is this song and explicitly they are saying. But I think अब तो खैर ठीक है चेंज हो रहे हैं, but still उतने चेंज नहीं हो रहे कि हम proudly बोल सके that it is just going away.
To continue this, I also thought of a very fun question for you. Okay? I think you'll have fun answering it. So if women were to build their own society, what would the first rule be?
I know my answer is cliche, but hear me out. I think the rule would be do what you love. Because तुम मानो या ना मानो, आज भी इतनी सारी महिलाएं हैं, लड़कियां हैं जो परस्यू नहीं कर पा रही जो उन्हें करना है. एंड इट्स नॉट जस्ट अबाउट एन एजुकेशन और अ करियर. ठीक है, अब किसी किसी को ऐसी ऐसी वुमेन भी हैं जिनको खाना बनाने से कंफर्ट मिलता है. दे वांट टू.
I love cooking.
Yeah,
that is what I do. It is very therapeutic to me. I would
या सो उसके लिए वो बैशिंग नहीं चाहिए. ठीक है कि तुम घर में ही काम करते रहते हो. मतलब लॉट ऑफ मेन डोंट लाइक कि टू टेक देयर वुमेन आउट बिकॉज उन्हें लगता है वो प्रेजेंटेबल नहीं है. ठीक है, या मतलब बेसिकली जो तुम्हें पसंद है वो तुम करो विदाउट एनी बाउंड्रीज, विदाउट एनी स्टीरियोटाइप्स, विदाउट एनी जजमेंट. इट्स जस्ट दैट तुम्हें खाना बनाना पसंद है तुम खाना बनाओ, तुमको बाहर जाना पसंद है तुम बाहर जाओ, तुम्हें ड्रेसअप करना पसंद है तुम ड्रेसअप करो. लाइक लेट us be in peace. I want that.
I think the whole point of ये podcast भी यही था कि we are coming here spreading awareness और हम इन सब issues के बारे में खुल के बात कर पाए. So and don't you feel better कि मतलब
Of course.
I just feel very light right now कि अच्छा it was a good conversation.
I think वही होता है ना, the more we converse, the
हाँ.
more people will talk about it and the more impact it will have.
हाँ.
So there is this Twitter study that
हाँ.
we were
हाँ,
also
हाँ,
like
हाँ.
discussing कि दो groups थे
हाँ.
and in one group there were women who posted about their struggles and
हाँ.
experiences, and in the other, you remember?
हाँ, I remember कि मतलब the other group they did not post about it very explicitly and the results were very varying कि मतलब कि जिन लोगों ने किया and it was shown that it was better for their well-being, their mental health improved because they spoke it all out. There was nothing inside them. But on the other hand, जो दूसरा group था, they did not. So they had.
So I think it talks a lot about ki how us as women or the whole Me Too movement was also there, but not getting into that. I'm just saying ki jitna we are expressing, it's like evidently proven. Jitna we are talking about it on social media, on media, and this media representation, it creates an impact. So I think we can end the episode by saying ki more of movies, more of songs, more of representations, where
and more of conversations.
More of conversations, absolutely, where you know women are not being the target but they are just being cherished.
हाँ.
ना मतलब judgment मत दो, करने दो ना यार जो कर रहे हैं. Simple बात है.
हाँ. So I think with that we would want to end our 5th episode of Desi Dialogues. Thank you so much for watching this episode and like,
share, subscribe, and happy Women's Day to all the women who are watching. Bye.